So let's start with, tell me a little bit about what you do and who Infinite Care is.
So Infinite Care is a group of nursing homes. We've got some facilities in Florida and really predominantly in New York as well.
Okay, terrific. And what's your role?
So I am Vice President of Strategy and Business Development. I'm really on all pieces revenue.
Okay, so sort of everybody knows what business development means, but what does strategy mean?
Well, it takes a lot of strategy in this industry to be able to be successful. And there are a lot of moving parts in terms of what can make revenue grow. And obviously, it's a business, so revenue needs to be strong. So strategy is just really understanding all the components that it takes to be successful in each area. And every individual facility has its own unique strategy so that they can succeed.
Okay, terrific. So we're going to walk through these 5 leadership questions I have, which are really 6 if you're counting. And then I'd actually like to talk to you a little bit about your story and your journey, because I know that's a very unique story that we don't want to miss. But here's my first question for you. What's the most important leadership lesson that you've learned?
The most important leadership lesson that I've learned is to be humble. I think that no matter where you get in your career, it's important to stay humble. I think that that's where you learn the most, because if you think you know it all, you're going to miss a lot of those cues that are very valuable that people give to you. And I think that it helps you really have a team that rallies around you because they feel that humility and they just want to do exciting things and get to the goals with you.
Oh, I love that so much. Second question, what surprised you most about being a leader?
What surprised me most is that not everybody is as passionate as I am. And sometimes it takes a little work to get people as excited about outcomes or performance or tackling a challenge as I am. I think I wake up motivated and very passionate about this industry. And sometimes there are people that are very talented. It just takes a little more to get them engaged. So
yeah.
Surprising to me.
So I really like that a lot because I'm very passionate too. And it's like, I sort of have this thing that goes through my head. I try not to say it. It's like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you get excited about this, right?
Well, that's a method, but like shaking someone and saying, come on, give me some more excitement.
Yeah.
Doesn't really work, but it takes patience sometimes to get them to come around.
Yep. So next question. What does the industry still get fundamentally wrong, and what would it take to fix it?
So I think what this industry fundamentally gets wrong is that we really need to protect our image. I think that the perception of nursing homes is so negative out there, and we have so many positive stories to share that I think that that's how we have to fix it, is we really have to flood social media with the positive stories. And I think this industry ignores that point a little bit, thinking either it'll go away or it's okay, business as usual. It's okay if we don't have a great image. But that's something that always bothers me, and I think we need to fix that.
I agree with you 100%. I think there are so many amazing stories that just go, and nobody captures them, nobody collects them. And the other problem I've come to realize is that most residents, most patients, most employees, most family members are actually not very good storytellers. And so often you'll hear this story where you go, oh man, if I could only tell that story. And that's why I think that the industry needs to put more time and effort into looking for professional storytellers who can really help craft those stories and then get them out there. This is my next business. This is my next business idea. If I can live to 100, I want to go out and start a company that does nothing but collect those stories, tell those stories. I think there's
we need a better PR engine.
We do. No question about that. So, so what's your single biggest people challenge that you're facing right now? And also, what's working?
I think the single biggest people challenge I have is that, when you have somebody who performs really well, but they're toxic to others, it's always a challenge, because I'm the type of person that always sees the best in people. And sometimes I have to realize a little earlier people are toxic and can't be changed, because I'll try to change them 100 times. And I have to really be able to understand the impact that has on people around them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Matt told us great. You were just on a panel here at LTC 100, and Matt Strange just told this wonderful story about an administrator on a building they took over that really snowed them and did great damage because they didn't realize it fast enough. So absolutely no question about that. What animal best describes your leadership style?
Wow. I love these on the spot questions. My leadership style could be best. I have two. I would say
Good.
a monkey because I'm jumping from tree to tree,
Huh?
always trying to be, on the ground helping as opposed to, just that 6,000 feet up in the air global managing. So, monkey jumping from tree to tree and again, helping people. And I also feel like a giraffe because a giraffe can, has high in the sky, you could see the bigger picture. So from a strategy perspective, to always be able to see the bigger picture and be able to kind of move stealthily into that is just, I guess, the two animals I'd identify.
I love that. I love both of those. I do. Last question. What's one thing you believe about the industry that most people would disagree with?
What's one thing I believe about the industry that most people would disagree with? I think that it's a very fun industry. I know people really talk about the stress because there are so many points. And, just like in the talk I just gave, I say you have to be an octopus. You have to have like legs in all directions because there's so many things to worry about. So, people all say how hard it is. I think it's hard, but I think it's also gratifying. And I think that if you have a lot of good systems in place and you have your specific way of doing things and you're organized about it, it's not as hard as, and there's no challenge that can't be overcome. So I call that fun. Most people look at me really crazy when I say that.
Well, so, and so as you were saying that, the other thing I was thinking is I don't think we laugh enough in senior living. And really, there's things that happen that at the moment seem really terrible. We're industry insiders, so I'm going to tell this story. It's a little more graphic than I normally like to do, but my stepfather's has got dementia. He's in a small 6-bed assisted living. And I was visiting him one day, and as I was leaving, I walked over and I looked over to say goodbye to the staff that was in their little office, and they weren't in there. But one of the gentlemen who was in there, had got more dementia than my stepfather, and he was standing there and he was peeing on the table where the laptop was. And at first, at the moment, I called somebody and they came over and took care of it. And it was awful at the moment. But when I think back about it, it's kind of funny, right? Man, so it's sad, but it's funny.
You are in like
what's that you do? You have to inject humor in things, right? And you have to have some perspective and you have to think about these things and
to know how to laugh.
And you have to know how to laugh. So anyway, so thank you for doing the questions. Now,
Sure.
Tell me a little bit about your journey. How did you get to be doing what you're doing?
Such an interesting question because, life takes a lot of twists and turns.
It does.
So I will tell you that growing up, I lived 2 blocks from a nursing home. And I think it was more of a retirement home back then. And I took ballet class and I always had to pass that nursing home. And I just used to see the people out. There was a little terrace outside and I used to just really on my own enjoy just stopping in and talking to them. And there's something about older people that I always gravitated to, older, wiser, and just try to make them happy. I used to come back on the way home from ballet and make my own recital every week and put on a little show. I guess I loved the attention at the time. Some things never changed. But I think that I just always enjoyed older people. And I have a passion for saying that these are people that live their whole lives. This is the sunset of their lives. Like I have a big responsibility to try to make that the best stage of their life, as opposed to them feeling forgotten or that everybody's living life and they're kind of on the way out and nobody's paying attention to them. So it just always resonated with me.
Yeah. And so did you know when you were a little girl that you were going to go work in senior?
No, absolutely not. I wanted to be an interior designer, actually.
Okay. And did you go to school for that? I mean, what was your first job in senior living? How did you get there?
The first job I had in senior living was marketing. I was the chief marketing officer for a company. And then because part of marketing is you're not just, selling words. You really have to have good quality and you have to be selling a product. I ended up crossing over naturally and organically into operations because I would go fix it myself. I would know, hey, we need to fix the performance in these areas so that I can sell a good product. I can't sell it if it's not something I see, happy about. So I naturally pivoted into that. And then I actually became CEO of the company for a few years. And then I went out on my own and built my own portfolio. Really thoroughly enjoyed that. Turned that around really quickly. And as I exited, sold those facilities, and then met with Saul Klein from Infinite Care. And while I was looking for a new portfolio, he was talking to me about coming and joining him, his growing portfolio and dynamic company. And I haven't looked back since.
Terrific. How many communities again?
It's growing.
Okay.
It's growing.
So what advice do you have for young leaders?
Advice I have for young leaders is be organized. I know I tend to have type A OCD tendencies, but I can't overestimate how having processes, systems, high standards, by the way, and also clarity in communicating those to people that you're going to oversee is really paramount to getting the success that you're looking for.
Yeah.
It's nice to have clarity yourself. It's nice to have strategy. It's nice to really know where you're going and what your goals are. But to be able to have that systematic approach of how to get there and to be able to share that with clarity to the team and rally them around you will really help you accomplish your goals.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Sure.